on Nightside, the emotional procession for the two fallen firefighters as they return home to Coeur d'Alene.
These people put themselves on the line every day for us.
Thousands of people from the inland Northwest come out to pay respects. Watching 4 News Now Nightside. In a procession spanning more than 40 miles from Spokane to Coeur d'Alene, every single overpass, exit, street, and parking lot filled with supporters today. A procession to honor 2 North Idaho firefighters killed in Sunday's tragic ambush. Thank you for being with us tonight for Nightside. I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Families, members of law enforcement, and total strangers gathered together today for Battalion Chiefs John Morrison and Frank Harwood. Bagpipes played mournful melodies as the procession began. Helicopters flew overhead while people waved flags from every overpass, some waiting for over an hour to pay their respects. The grief was heavy, but so was the unity.
Well, these firefighters go out and save lives, put fires out, and help people all the time. And it's an unimaginable thing that's happened, and everybody's getting out here and showing their support for what they do for us every day.
While many didn't know the firefighters personally, one man remembered Battalion Chief John Morrison from high school, describing him as funny and a great guy. As the procession passed through, a blanket of silence fell over the crowd, and many fought back tears as they mourned these 2 fallen heroes. Once they arrived in Coeur d'Alene, the fallen firefighters were welcomed home by the people they served for decades. A crowd filled 4th Street, gathering around the place where their caskets now lie. Families, friends, and fellow first responders stood shoulder to shoulder in Coeur d'Alene as the procession came rolling in.
I didn't know these gentlemen personally, but I know enough of the community that did, and whatever I could do to help, I will do.
People in the crowd spoke to our crews about their love for these 2 battalion chiefs, saying they will have a lasting impact on their community. First responders have not left the side of Chief Morrison and Harwood since this happened. A stand vigil has been in place, meaning 2 firefighters have stayed with them since they were killed, rotating shifts until these men are laid to rest. And today, Kootenai County Fire Rescue Chief and Coeur d'Alene Fire Chief released a joint statement thanking the community for the support today. That release reading in part, quote, "To say we felt the love would be an understatement. Please know this and all of the other incredible displays of the affection you have for your first responders is second to none, and it does not go unnoticed." Idaho Senator Mike Crapo also released a statement today honoring the firefighters, reading in part, quote, "As Idahoans and as a nation, we are forever in debt to these men who paid the ultimate price while protecting their fellow firefighters, community homes, and surrounding neighborhoods. I continue to pray for Coeur d'Alene Fire Department engineer Dave Tisdall, who was in critical condition, and the other innocent first responders who came under fire and eliminated the threat." If you'd like to support any of the affected families of these firefighters through donations, there are several ways to do so. First, you can donate directly to the 3 families impacted. Donations can also be made in person at any First Interstate Bank branch. The Red and Blue Foundation is also accepting donations. However, fire officials are emphasizing make sure that you do not donate to any organizations claiming to represent them other than First Interstate Bank because of potential scams. For a full list with links on how to donate, find that story on our website, kxly.com. The fire on Canfield Mountain that law enforcement believe was set intentionally to lure these firefighters into that deadly ambush is still burning tonight. In the latest update from the Idaho Department of Lands, they say the Nettleton Gulch fire is 38 acres and 15% contained. Canfield Mountain is closed to the public until July 15th while fire crews work to put out the flames. Despite all of this, those who live nearby say they are not concerned.
Our firefighters are really professionals. They know what they're doing, and we appreciate them very much.
The Idaho Department of Land says a crew of 100 firefighters have established a fire hose perimeter around the flames and are working to set up additional water access on the mountain. Some good news tonight as far as fire crews goes because it has been so hot. Mark Peterson in for Chris Crocker tonight talking about those 90-degree days.
Yeah, they've been dealing with, very hot conditions. The winds have been very light. The humidity is very low. So without the wind, they're in pretty good shape.
Right.
Tomorrow, it's going to get windy, going to get breezy. So they're going to be keeping an eye out for that. Currently, we're holding on to the heat. 83 degrees into Spokane, 72 into Coeur d'Alene. Again, winds very light. It's going to be a warm evening throughout the early morning hours. Now, a fire weather warning or a red flag warning, they're the same thing, throughout areas of the Central Basin all the way down into Oregon because of the potential for some dry lightning tomorrow, gusty winds, and of course the desperate dry conditions. We're also going to be hot again tomorrow. Now, Spokane, Eastern Washington, North Idaho, not in that as yet. But again, for those burn bans all over the Pacific Northwest, so really need to use caution. Very warm tonight, and the 4 things we want you to know about. Going to be clouds and breezy for Wednesday. Cooler temperatures coming in. That's going to take us all the way through the weekend, but next week is going to be another scorcher. So we look at our forecast radar and we see where we've got some clouds coming in. That's going to be the early morning hours. Then we're going to see that energy cross over with brief showers, but also that potential for some dry lightning or perhaps some light thunderstorm activity. It's that cloud to ground lightning and the potential for that starting any fires with the windy conditions. That's why that red flag warning exists. And there will be some real moisture that'll go up into parts of central Idaho and into Montana. That would be great news. Right now, temperatures are all over the place. Up in Colville, you're sitting at 63 degrees, 65 into Pullman. We're at 83, 72 into Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, 63 degrees. Tomorrow, everybody heats up. We're going to be around 90 degrees for eastern Washington, North Idaho, into Grand Coulee, 97, 96 into the Tri-Cities, Lewiston, 99 degrees. Here is our day tomorrow. Variable clouds, the chance of maybe a morning thunder bumper coming through, and the potential for a few light sprinkles coming through the area. We're going to be hovering around 90 degrees. 91 is our forecasted high for tomorrow. But you can see it's going to warm up rather quickly. 79 is a normal high for this time of year. We'll surpass that in the 10 o'clock hour.
Okay. We got to be careful, and it's going to be very hot. Thank you so much, Mark. Brian Kohberger, the man accused of murdering 4 University of Idaho students, Kaylee Gonsalves, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Madison Mogan, is set to change his plea to guilty tomorrow in a court hearing. People living in Moscow, the home of the University of Idaho, are still trying to process this news. Some community members say they are relieved to avoid reliving the November 2022 murders, but remain divided about whether life in prison delivers true justice.
I think it's hard on the people of Moscow, extremely hard on everybody. It's just, I'm glad if they're not going to have to do that.
Many Moscow residents welcome the certainty that the plea brings after months of uncertainty. Others hope the decision helps their small town begin to heal from the tragedy that shook the community. And families of the victims have been speaking out to national news sources and on social media, sharing their thoughts about Kohberger changing his plea. Steve Gonsalves, father of Kaylee Gonsalves, sat down with CNN today. Take a listen.
This isn't what we should be doing. You don't deal with terrorists, and you don't deal with people who kill your kids in their sleep. So, we'll never see this as justice.
And 4 News Now will also be in Boise tomorrow for that hearing. Our Jordan Smith will be at the courthouse and have live coverage throughout the day, starting with Good Morning Northwest. That begins at 5 a.m.
The Seattle Mariners powered to a strong Game 1 win against the Kansas City Royals last night. But winning consecutive games in a series hasn't been easy, really, as of late for any of these M's games. But tonight's Game 2 puts that to the test again.
Out to left field, shot back, and he's hit another one out.
Randy Rosarena blast to left keeps the Mariners on pace with KC, but big fella Salvador Perez gets a huge hit to right center, swinging the pendulum right back the other way. Not a home run, though. Julio Rodriguez just sort of lost the ball there. The big fella gets over to second. Bobby Witt Jr. and Vinny Pasquantino both score. But now 5-1 game in the 5th. There's Ben Williamson to the rescue. Line drive right. Scores Luke Raley, and Williamson just barely slides into second. He is safe. And a late J.P. Crawford hit will help bring the game to 2 runs. But Kansas City riding out the win 6-3. They then even the series at 1-1. So Seattle returns to Game 3 of the series tomorrow night at 6:40 p.m. But don't go anywhere. We have more sports updates, plus how the Indians did tonight, all later in sports. Kirsten, back to you.
All right, Jack, thank you. In Washington, D.C. now, Republicans are racing to pass President Donald Trump's major spending bill before his self-imposed July 4th deadline. ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest on the progress.
President Trump's massive domestic policy bill is one step closer to becoming law after the Senate barely passed it. Vice President J.D. Vance breaking the tie in the Senate after 2 all-nighters.
On this vote, the yeas are 50, the nays are 50. The Senate being evenly divided, the Vice President votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
The bill slashing taxes for the wealthy and boosting spending for immigration enforcement, fulfilling the president's campaign promise to eliminate taxes on tips and overtime.
That will spur economic growth and more jobs and opportunities for American workers.
And it includes deep cuts to Medicaid, which the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office says will cause 11.8 million Americans to lose their health insurance over the next decade.
Today's vote will haunt our Republican colleagues for years to come as the American people see the damage that is done, as hospitals close, as people are laid off, as costs go up, as the debt increases.
3 Republican senators oppose the bill. President Trump has repeatedly pledged not to cut Medicaid. The president now insists the cuts in the bill only target waste, fraud, and abuse.
Are you saying that the estimated 11.8 million people who could lose their health coverage, that is all waste, fraud, and abuse?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's going to be a very much smaller number than that, and that number will be waste, fraud, and abuse.
What number is that? What analysis are you seeing?
I'm not seeing a number, but I know it's much less than the number you gave.
Changes the Senate made to the bill sends President Trump's legislative agenda back to the House for approval. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead here on Nightside, what to expect if you are traveling during 4th of July weekend.
Well, the weather's going to look pretty good, but those 90-degree plus days in Spokane so far for this year, we're going to add more to that list. We will show you when and how hot that's coming up.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by A to Z Rentals.
A major turn in the University of Idaho murder case. Brian Koberger set to plead guilty. The victim's families divided over the deal. What happens next? Watch special team coverage and expert analysis live from Boise tomorrow, only on Good Morning Northwest.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
The 4th of July sale is on now at More Furniture with red, white, and blue savings in every department. Just in time for summer entertaining, family gatherings, and holiday celebrations. During the 4th of July sale, you'll get our very best offer. No money down, subtract the sales tax, and absolutely no interest until July 2026. Plus, you'll get free white glove delivery and will remove and donate your gently used pieces locally. Visit your local More Furniture, where everyone gets more for less.
After a car wreck, Big Insurance moves fast to protect themselves, not you.
I called Craigsoft and Associates. They not only fought for me, but treated me fairly every step of the way.
One call, that's all.
509-999-9999.
One of the most iconic bands in rock history, George Thorogood and the Destroyers, bring the Rock Party to the Coeur d'Alene Casino live Thursday, July 31st. Visit the Coeur d'Alene Casino box office or cdacasino.com for tickets.
Winning is just the beginning.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm out of here.
Kimmel's out, and your favorite guest hosts are in all summer long.
What a super chill time to be doing a topical monologue on national television.
Jimmy Kimmel Live with summer guest hosts, weeknights on ABC.
Beat the heat. Always water before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m.
Welcome back. The Amazon Center in Spokane is testing a brand new AI-powered robot arm that can help your next order get to your door quicker. The robot is called Vulcan, and it helps sort products from the Amazon warehouse before they go into packages. The Spokane facility is the second in the world to have this technology, and it is the first one in North America. The site leader at the facility says with Prime Day expanding to 4 days this year, they hope these robots will be able to help with higher volumes of orders on those days.
We have processes built all around it as well, where obviously we need humans to do those things. So it doesn't necessarily take any roles. It just helps us build out a platform to either train our associates in different functions.
The Spokane Fulfillment Center currently has 4 sets of machines that it is developing right now, and it hopes to expand the amount of robots it can use both at this facility in Spokane and at others across the country. Maybe we'll see a big change.
But maybe we will.
I mean, we were talking earlier about how sometimes it's 4 to 6 days that you have to wait to get a...
At the farm. At the farm, it's 4 to 6 days for prime delivery. If it's not prime delivery, it'll show up somewhere, next year, because it's 100 miles out of everything.
Yeah. And
so
maybe at the farm it'll be 2 days.
No, it will never be. It takes 2 days just to get there when you're serious about it. All right. I'll be heading to the farm August 10th, by the way. You
have
can
it on
mark
my
that
calendar.
On your calendar.
That's when I'll be crying.
Temperatures in the mid-90s today, 95 for Spokane, 96 for Coeur d'Alene. These are our official daytime highs. Moses Lake at 100, as was Lewiston, 102 in the Tri-City. So tomorrow will be cooler, but not cold. It'll still be very warm. We're holding out 83 degrees, a clear sky. This is a half moon, by the way, or just about a half. And we're getting to the point where we'll see a full moon soon. We look at our forecast hourly for Wednesday. Waking up still warm. Temperatures nearing 70 degrees. It'll be 76 by 9 o'clock. Again at 10, 79. That's the average high for this time of year. So that gives you an idea of just how hot we are. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s all afternoon long. 91 is our forecasted high. We'll see that 5, 6, 7 o'clock. It is going to be light winds until we see a little bit of energy coming in, and that's where we've been talking about the isolated light thunder shower or potentially some light rain showers, but that's why we have the red flag warning into the Central Basin. We track the pattern of what's going on around our area. We have a system up to the north that's going to start sliding down, and we've got a system to the south that's pushing moisture up, and we're right in between that. So we're going to see that energy come in. That's going to be early in the morning, say 6 a.m. till about 2 p.m. We could see an isolated shower out of that, mainly to the west and north of us all the way through Colville, but there will be that potential as we see some of this monsoonal moisture make its way up, hopefully heading further into Montana. They need the moisture. We all need the moisture. We're all in drought in the Pacific Northwest. It is the East Coast that is so far from drought, it's not even funny. Again, severe weather, several delays, hundreds of delays when it comes to air traffic. They can't take off because of the thunderstorm activity, the heavy rains. They got to wait for a window. That's going to continue tomorrow. We're going to see the central part of the country looking pretty good. When we look at the forecast radar, this brings into that timing I talked about, where we're going to see the cloud cover coming in the morning. And then, again, about 6 all the way through to about 2, we're going to have that energy coming through. It's going to be some isolated light showers, not expecting anything heavy out of this, and some errant dry lightning potential. That's why we've got that red flag warning. That stops a lot of industry from working. That stops welding and chainsaws and things like that. Some of the agricultural operations stop as well because of the fear of fire. Then we get into Thursday morning. We've got just this light cool or cold front coming through. That's going to bring in some cooler weather that will take us through the end of the week. So for tomorrow, we're going to be into the low 90s throughout many areas. Downtown, 94, 95 degrees. And we're going to continue to be well above average. We look at our planning forecast. Thursday, 84, 82 on 4th of July, 82 Saturday. And then we warm back up, and we have temperatures warming up into the mid-90s. So that gives you a really good idea that this temperature trend, we're going to get a nice break. The timing is perfect over the weekend, certainly for the 4th of July holiday, because a lot of people are going to be be leaving town. So we're going to get really this nice dip in temperatures, and then as it climbs up, we're going to be well above average again. So remember, I showed you where we've had 4 days at 90 degrees plus. Well, we are going to see a lot more coming in next week. It is going to be very hot. So we want you, if you could, through this weekend, take a little bit of time to get your home prepared for that, if not already, and change those furnace filters, because the time is now. You haven't done it since probably the winter time.
You're right.
And you've been we've been running the air through there. It's going to make everything efficient and better for your home.
Yeah, and better for your health.
Yep.
It definitely changes my allergy situation. Thank you so much, Mark.
You're very welcome.
Well, as Mark just said, 4th of July is this Friday, and travel experts are expecting it to be a busy one, with a record number of more than 72 million Americans set to travel around the U.S. ABC's Christian Cordero has tips to avoid travel headaches.
Americans are gearing up for what is, by all measures, expected to be yet another record-breaking 4th of July weekend for travel. AAA spokesperson Aixa Diaz says more than 72 million Americans will travel within the U.S.
72 million is a new record, and it exceeds the previous record, which was set last year.
So expect the roads to be jam-packed.
So we're projecting more than 61 million people are taking road trips. That's also a new record in that category.
To try and avoid traffic,
you want to leave as early as possible when you're driving, ideally before 11 a.m., preferably even earlier than that.
But don't leave before you've prepared for that road trip. Diaz says AAA responded to nearly 700,000 emergency roadside assistance calls last year.
Checking your vehicle before you hit the road, check your tire pressure, check your battery, have an emergency kit in the car with extra waters, extra snacks, a flashlight. Make sure you have your phone fully charged, in case there is some sort of unexpected emergency on the interstate.
The skies will be busy as well, with more than 5.8 million people expected to fly, according to AAA.
What we can expect is packed airports. Some airlines have reduced routes, so that means that if there are fewer flights out there and demand is high, those airplanes are going to be packed. So don't leave any room for error. Don't be late to the airport.
Because running late to the airport could turn into sprinting through it. Christian Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up on Nightside, a bomb scare in a local Safeway earlier today. We'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
For over 25 years, Dr. Arvind Chaudhry and Summit Cancer Centers has remained true to 3 core values. 25 years of coming together to develop the most complete and personalized treatment plans available. 25 years of providing the most advanced treatments and non-invasive radiosurgery in the country. 25 years of taking you on a healing journey from diagnosis to recovery.
And we are not stopping there. We will continue to offer the most comprehensive cancer treatment in the Northwest.
Summit Cancer Centers, integrated, innovative, inspired.
Summer is here in the Pacific Northwest, and it's set to be a scorcher. But why suffer through another season of sweltering heat and box fans? Call the experts at Bill's Heating and AC. With the lowest price guarantee, free second opinions, and a warehouse full of top quality equipment, we're ready to make your summer comfortable without breaking the bank. Technicians are on standby. Call for your free quote today.
Hear that? It's the sound of savings at your local Ford dealer. Get a sweet-sounding deal on F-150, Bronco, Bronco Sport, Explorer, Escape, and more. Hurry in today for the sound of savings, because a new Ford truck or SUV is calling your name. Just listen to this great offer. Employee pricing ends soon. Get up to $13,000 total savings, only at your local Ford dealer.
I was in foot pain for 20 years. I bought all these products, and not a single one worked. When I drove past the Good Feet store, I thought, I'm gonna stop in. What can it hurt? They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support for my feet, not somebody else's feet. And you just knew, like your feet just, when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Celebrate Red, White, and Boom in Moses Lake. Go to tourmoseslake.com for details.
Well, the Safeway on Mission and Hamilton in Spokane was evacuated this morning because of a suspicious package. Spokane police say a man found that package nearby and brought it to the store. He believed it was an explosive, and the parking lot of the store was closed off. Everyone was safely evacuated from the building. The bomb squad took pictures and examined the package, but were not able to determine if it actually was an explosive. Police say it was at least made to look like an explosive, but they will continue to investigate. And now a look at our top trending stories through our 4 News Now story tracker. Number 3, an anesthesiology resident who worked at Seattle Children's Hospital, UW Medicine, and Harborview Medical Center has been charged with using medicine intended for children. 35-year-old Dr. Andrew Vogel-Padadera was charged with 2 counts of acquiring a controlled substance by misrepresentation, fraud, deception, and subterfuge. 2, what we know so far about Wes Rowley, the 20-year-old suspect in the Coeur d'Alene firefighter ambush. Rowley's grandfather said his grandson came from a family of arborists and was trying to figure out his career path. Rowley was found dead at the scene. And number 1, today, Yaya Brewing in Spokane Valley donated all of the money in their beer sales to support the Fallen Firefighters Memorial and Support Fund. You can find each of these stories at KXLY.com. We'll be right back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Denture Clinic.
At any point, you can encounter evil.
Young woman riding her bike and she gets abducted.
Where is she?
It made the hair on the back of my neck stand up.
You get the phone call. She's been found.
One of the worst pains you can ever have.
I kind of had to stop my jaw from falling.
What kind of person would do this sort of thing?
Evil person.
She was almost home. The 2020 true crime event. Friday night at 9/8 Central on ABC.
Do you keep up with the trends or set your own?
Is the color dense enough?
Add more pigment. Launch on social.
We've got to take this global.
All right, so where do we go from here?
You've got to test it, perfect it, expand it. Never rest until it's right.
Introducing the business card that gives back all you put in. The new Chase Sapphire Reserve for Business.
At Fred Meyer, you never compromise. You get up high quality like bread baked in store and down low prices everywhere you turn. Up high quality that's guaranteed fresh and down low prices on over 1,000 items. With quality and savings that keep adding up, hand it to Fred Meyer shoppers. You never compromise. Fred Meyer. Fresh for everyone.
2 summer sensations are flying into DQ. One of them is sure to save the summer. And the other? Yeah, he's Superman. No big deal. With an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor, the new DQ Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat packs enough flavor to tempt Superman himself. Hurry into DQ or get it delivered in the app for this legendary new Blizzard Treat before it's gone.
With the 2025-2026 Gonzaga basketball schedule just about complete, one of the final scheduled dominoes fell earlier today with the reveal of the Players Era Festival slate. Gonzaga State, Houston, lots of good opponents and a huge expansion from just 8 teams in the field a year ago. Oregon coming in as the defending champions. And you're watching the opponents Gonzaga is going to face right now in the Alabama Crimson Tide, Maryland Terrapin off with their opening game against the Tide on Monday. That's November 24th at 6:30. And then they play Maryland at the same time the next day. And all teams that go 2-0 in these 2 games earn a spot in the championship pool. 2 best super-point differential points scored against all those fun tiebreakers will then face off in the championship game. Next best pair in the 3rd place matchup. All of those coming up November 26th. Newest member of the WCC is here. Seattle U Redhawks entering in the conference starting up earlier today. They join Washington State and Gonzaga in basketball for the upcoming season before, of course, the Zags and Cougs depart for the Pac-12 next year. This marks a return to the conference for the Redhawks. 45 years ago, they dropped out of Division I athletics and then 15 years ago have been in the WAC. NHL free agency has been a ton of fun. Seattle Kraken got some signings today, helping get their squad a little more together. They signed Ryan Lindgren, 4-year, $18 million, locking down a defenseman. Ended up getting this nice overtime winning goal right here. Other signing, veteran two-time Stanley Cup champ with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Latest on the Toronto Maple Leafs, Matt Murray, 10th season, providing some depth.
He does not go. The 2-2 hit high in the air, deep to right. DeJesus going back, track wall, it is gone.
David Nzimwai, Braylon Wimmer impressing at the plate. Two-run homer starting the game strong in the first, but the Indians cannot hang on. A 4-0 deficit across the final 5 innings. Spokane native Stu Fleslin picking up the L, his second of the year. He allowed 3 runs off 2 hits and not even 2 innings, but newcomer Blake Wright added a pair of hits and a run. Solid performance in his Indians debut after a stellar start in low-A Fresno. Now, also, both Charlie Condon and Jared Thomas, you recognize them from the Indians. Well, they were supposed to make their debuts tonight. The Hartford Yard Goats, but a rain out earlier, no play in Connecticut. Pair of the first 2 batters called up to Hartford, joining pitcher McCade Brown and Wellington Herrera. You can watch their debuts, MILB.TV. That's a doubleheader starting at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Not the best day in the office for the Seattle Mariners. We mentioned them earlier, 6-3 the final. They lost to Kansas City after a 3-hit, 3 RBI day for the big man, Salvador Perez. Star catcher Cal Raleigh, he hit, frankly, horribly tonight. 0 for 4, 4 strikeouts. The rest of the offense couldn't do much outside of this Randy Rosarena homer. Seattle held hitless across the final 4 innings. They'll look to reverse that with a Game 3 rubber match tomorrow evening at 6:40. One last look at weather coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
A penny saved is a lifetime earned. Numerica Credit Union. Money where it matters.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Resilience. At Shriners Children's, we're leaders in pediatric sports medicine. With expertise in sprains, tears, fractures, and other sports-related injuries. We're here to deliver the best care in the business and never allow your ability to pay for services to compromise the care your child needs. Because every great comeback starts with a game plan for empowering the extraordinary. Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
Life happens. Lucky for you, the new ICCU Central Plus checking account comes with benefits, including cell phone protection.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account?
That's right. Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
You'll love Yachtly Crew, a 7-piece SoCal band who has started a nationwide yacht rock craze. Live at the Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, July 3rd. Visit the Coeur d'Alene Casino box office or cdacasino.com for tickets.
Winning is just the beginning.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
I have to tell you, setting up, if you're going to be downtown on Friday, you're going to be watching the fireworks or at the various casinos or anywhere they're legally being put on for the display, the weather is going to be absolutely perfect. Tomorrow it's going to be breezy, 91 degrees for the high, 84 on Thursday, and then, well, Saturday, Sunday in the 80s. So really looking like a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, and hopefully people are going to be very careful.
Yes.
Be in the places where you are legally, like you said, allowed to be setting off fireworks. Hey, we do want to take this time to remind you that 4 News Now will be in Boise tomorrow for the Koberger hearing. Our Jordan Smith will be live at the courthouse throughout the day. Coverage begins for Good Morning Northwest at 5 a.m.
Yep.